Good morrow and good day to thee, my loyal subjects. My name is MiAh the King of Nothing. Today we're taking a look at a game that just came out on Steam called New Home Medieval Villagers. A city building simulation type of game, developed by Mustafa Kanner Tonbul and also published by Mustafa Kanner Tonbul. I apologize if I pronounced any of those words in a way that isn't correct. Also, if you hear any shuffling noises in the background, that is my new puppy inside her kennel. She's not potty trained yet. Also, if I sound a bit off, I've still got a pretty nasty cough, which is why I have a cough drop right now. And if the video sound quality is a bit off, I'm currently dealing with a possibly broken mic. Sorry about all of that. You have no idea how sorry about all of that. But anyway, the game is described on Steam as follows. New Home Medieval Villager is a zoning-based, medieval-themed city-building game. Create zoning areas according to the demands of the villagers and meet the needs of the villagers. Keep them happy with your service buildings and attract wealthier villagers to your village. Does that sound familiar? Well, if you're a fan of city-building games, then yes. Yes, it does, or at least it should. If you've not, then it's time to buckle up and find out if this game is for you or not. In fact, why don't you all buckle in and get ready to learn some more? Man, this cough drop's making it really hard for me to do this. So, I just gotta say, I love games like this. I love games like this because they allow me to do other things while also playing these games. Like, I'm a stay-at-home dad whose wife works. We have our reasons and it's perfect for us, so don't judge us. The point is, I take care of two beautiful little kids, and I used to just play a game or watch TV or whatever, but with games like this, I could do both, or I could do one or the other better while taking care of my kids. But I love games like this because they're simple, easy to get into, and they offer you a new form of entertainment. This is just your common city builder game. It's also in early access, so it's incomplete. Let me repeat, the game is in early access and isn't complete yet, so go forward with that information tucked away. Basically, you build like a harbor, boats show up automatically with villagers who may want to join. You have a hostel, so they have a temporary place to stay, or is it pronounced hostel? I don't remember. H-O-S-T-E-L. Anyway, then you build neighborhoods and jobs for them, and then they just move in and become a permanent part of your village. And you grow and offer more and get bigger and fancier, just building a small hamlet which turns into a village, which turns into a city, which eventually turns into a capital or something bigger than a city. And the game is rather basic, so it's kind of hard for me to go into pros and cons, but I'm trying my best here. The first, we're going to start off here with the pros, because one of the first things I said when I started playing was, hey, this is kind of cool. So, up first for the positives is the graphics. Now, while they aren't the greatest graphics that I've ever seen, they are still pretty darn good. I was really impressed with the lighting effects and the shadow effects especially. The attention to detail on some of these stuff is very nice as well. The villagers themselves could probably use some more detail, as could the grass and the main terrain around you. I mean, it basically just looks like a sheet of green paper that you're playing on, but everything else had smooth art with really good detail, and I just wanted to say it's much appreciated. Number 2, the music and sound effects, and by sound effects I kind of just mean the ambiance, as there isn't much else there currently. The music is also very pleasant and nice. Even now as I write this script, I'm still hearing the music in my mind. It pulls you into a relaxing kind of mood, which is perfect for a game like this. It barely has any sound effects, barely has any ambiance, so I hope those get fixed soon, but from what's currently there, I actually kind of felt like they fit pretty well. Number 3, the gameplay. It's kind of simple, but not too simple. It's not overly complicated and doesn't throw a lot of crap at you in the beginning. It's just basic stuff. Build a dock, build a hostel, or a hostel, however it's pronounced, build houses, build farms, rinse and repeat, building stuff that you need for your villagers to live a happy, fulfilled life. I was worried this was going to be another one of those city building simulator games where they try to make the game quote-unquote better by filling it with a bunch of needless information that you don't, well, need or care about. But it didn't, and that is also much appreciated. Number 4. The user interface. It's simple, it's easy to navigate, everything does what you'd expect it to do when clicking or scrolling or hitting buttons on the keyboard, or, when you try to rotate when you're looking for something. The little information bubbles that pop up, just to give you that wee bit more information that you've been looking for. I mean, it's all very well done, and it really helps ease the process of transitioning into learning and immersing yourself within the game. Okay, so that's all I got for the pros. On to the cons now. By the way, if you find yourself enjoying this video or finding it informative, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys and girls out there could support my channel. It's super easy, costs you nothing, and yet it helps me out tremendously. All you gotta do is hit the like button, or leave me a nice little comment, or subscribe to my channel, or share the video online. See? Super easy. So please consider supporting my kingdom of nothing. Now then, on to the negatives. Number 1, the gameplay's a little boring. I mean, yeah, the gameplay's in the good and the bad this time around. I mean, I found myself mostly just sitting there doing nothing, watching nothing happening. Little minute changes happening every now and then. It was like watching paint dry. The game, it's just a little too slow, and it needs to be sped up a little bit. Yes, it does have a speed thing where you can go on, regular speed, slightly higher speed, or highest speed, 1, 2, 3. But even at the max speed, it's still progressing way too slow. It needs to be sped up. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there and doing nothing for a very long time. Number 2, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one, the price. The game is in early access, and it's kind of boring, and it's incomplete, and yet they're asking for $20 for the game. And that's just here in the United States. I don't know how it is in the rest of the world. If it had been, $15, I would have been impressed and shouting to the rooftops about how someone finally asked for the right price for the right situation here. But for a game like this, and early access no less, 20 is just a bit too much for my taste. I got it on sale for $15, which is why I originally thought that's how much it was, and I originally started writing this, praising them, only to realize it's not. It's actually $20 unless you get that discount. So if you're interested in it, I would suggest waiting for the same discount or a different discount or a discount period. Maybe when it's finished, $20 is more appropriate, but right now we're paying them to test their game and then tell them what they did wrong so that they can fix it and make a better game. I mean, shouldn't we deserve a little bit of leeway here? And that little bit of leeway would be that extra $5. Number 3. The game's tutorial is kinda crap. I mean, sure, a game like this doesn't have a story, which makes it hard for you to make an inclusive tutorial involving the story of the game, but it's just page upon page of information over and over again in the beginning. It's just kind of annoying and a little bit confusing, and it doesn't really help you a whole lot. I mean, I got the basics down, I guess, but it's because of boring nonsense tutorials like these that most people choose to just skip them. And then they end up getting a bad impression of the game, and they'll give it a dislike when if you had just made it either more simple or more fun, then people would have a completely different opinion. Now, that said, the game is overall pretty simple, so of course the tutorial was also pretty simple, but man was it boring. It was actually, but I'll say one thing, the tutorial was more fun than the actual gameplay, because at least I was reading new stuff and learning new stuff rather than just watching nothing happen. But, okay, so that's all I got for the negatives. So, what are my overall thoughts? Well, the game, it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. If you ever played City Skylines, then you're going to love this, but you're going to fit right in because it's exactly like that game, but in the medieval ages. You build zones, which will automatically build houses or workshops, like stores, or farms instead of industry. Then you've got buildings like firehouses, police stations, libraries, and the list goes on. So if you liked City Skylines, but wanted it to be in medieval times, then this game is perfect for you. Which, by the way, I want to say, that's perfect for me. Because I really enjoyed City Skylines, but I always kind of wanted to do something medieval. So this game is almost exactly what I was looking for. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then that's fine too. If you've never played City Skylines, the game is simple enough for you to understand going in, and seems to me to be pretty easy to figure out. And once you do figure it out, you can start building your massive medieval city and all the joys that come with it and the process. I kind of like this game. I mean, yeah, it's kind of boring, but I mean, if you've got a TV nearby and you wanted to play this game after just watching some TV with it, because otherwise you are going to be pretty bored, at least at first. Now, that should tell you something, okay? If you're not looking for that kind of game, or if you're thinking, well, if you have to watch TV while playing it, it must not be that good of a game. I mean, you're kind of right, but at the same time, I can't be the only person who's doing this. I can't be the only person who thought of this. If you just want a simple, basic, easy game you can play in the background because you're doing other more important stuff, this fits that bill. It's actually simple enough, it's easy enough, and just barely fun enough that I think I'm going to keep it and just play it whenever I decide to watch some TV or whenever I'm just doing something else and I just want something on in the background. So, I mean, I don't know, I think that's all I got. It does have more details when you click on things, like information about the building and the daily process, the weekly, monthly process of what's coming and going, about characters and their backgrounds and stuff, so it does have a lot of other in-depth functions and abilities, so you can micromanage if that's your thing, but it's not complicated enough if you're looking for something super complicated. Does that, you know what I mean? Like, does that make any sense? Like, you can dive deeper and find out more, and maybe you could manage it a little bit better by looking at all the micromanaging possibilities, but it's not going to be like City Skylines. In City Skylines, you've got power lines and you've got water lines and sewage lines. You got to make sure that they don't cross with each other, and you got to make sure that they get to everybody, and then you got to look at all the different income you got coming and going, and you got to look at the different taxes you're doing and stuff, and like, that's kind of here, but maybe not as complicated as in City Skylines or other games of this type. So I don't know, I guess the possibility is there. I kind of like where it is now, and I hope it doesn't get more complicated with more developments, but it is still kind of there if that's kind of what you're looking for. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm sorry the video is a little shorter than usual. I tried really hard to make it longer, but maybe you don't appreciate it being longer. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But I think that's all I've got. That's all I've got to say about it. If you guys have any questions or concerns about the game and I missed something, please let me know in the comments below. I read everyone and I try to respond to everyone. If you enjoyed the video or if you found it informative, please consider supporting my channel by liking, subscribing, or sharing the video. And thank you so much for all of you for stopping by. I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure, and until then, I bid you all farewell.